automatic standard 5-speed. Even the diesel are all the same. So National 5200 is the kit that gives you the new rear seal for your tail shaft. And this is an automatic TH180 lock-up converter. Here's the new bushing, and just to show you why you should change this, when I put this on here, you can see how tight it is. It doesn't have any movement, and it will collapse, shrink a little bit when it's pounded into the case. So where's my worn one here? Right here. You can see the worn one, how shiny it is on one side. Well, when you put it on here, you can see with my fingers how much rocking there is. So you want to replace the tail shaft bushing and the rear seal, which is National 5200 is your kit. And I got myself a driver here that drives it out, and one to reinstall the new one. Here's the driver, tail shaft bushing. We're going to drive that guy back into the tail shaft housing. Here we got the final product. We got the bushing in there and a new rear seal on the TH180 automatic transmission. I'm going to put her back together after cleaning some of the other parts. Alright, so the reason I pulled this transmission out was to get a transmission that has a working lock-up torque converter, but now that I realize this one does not work either. So, cleaned it all up so far, put the filter in it, put the tail shaft and the tail shaft bushing, tail shaft seal in it, and resealed the back end. Pulled off the locking torque converter solenoid switch, these two lines. I'm not an expert, but I have a good understanding how things work. And tried an ohms test on the solenoid, and there is nothing going on. We have an open circuit. I'm trying to do a circuit test here with a little light bulb. One of the park lights. Tried to get that to work. I got nothing, zero. Just a simple circuit. This should be a 12-volt solenoid. I put the light bulb on there, and if I go on this side, there you go, the light bulb works. This thing here should make a dim light bulb to work. And since there's no resistance, obviously something burned out in this coil. Alright, so I took the solenoid switch apart. Here's a part. There's a plunger that's supposed to move out to close that oil port. But this solenoid here is the problem right here. It's a sealed unit, and somewhere inside the wires have shorted out. There's your coil that goes around that plunger solenoid. There's your two tangs. Anything that has a connection point will always short out right close to the end where it's connected to the terminal. Here's the lead. I took a lighter, burned off the varnish off the wire, and the other one is right here on the other end of the coil. So you run this in series with a light bulb, you should get this 12 volts to light up. Trying to find a transmission solenoid switch for this guy. Got my buddy Kurt out here. We had to come out here and shovel our way into this shed, and looking for a TH180 lock-up transmission. And you'll know they're lock up by the plug here. I did an ohms test here on my meter. Here's the coil that I took out of the existing one. That wire connected, that wire, and I'm getting around 28 something ohms here. But anyhow, you should have some resistance on the wire, and it's only going to burn off on the end of the contacts where the plug is. After pulling 9 transmissions apart, I found, throw that there, I found this one, which might have been an 82 in the early ones, and we did a test on it, and you know, we got a reading. That one works. It's a little bit different. It's an early version of it. Here's the book. The book tells you exactly that. You got your transmission plug, You got 12 volts going to your brake switch. Generally, they could be the vacuum line. Check all your vacuum lines, make sure that there's no worn. Sometimes these elbows here get worn, rubbing, losing vacuum. And here is your vacuum switch on the driver's side fender. But generally that's not usually the problem, but do check that. And then it goes down to your brake pedal. There's a pink and a blue wire there. On the top there is your regular brakes and third brake light. And then there's the switch to kick out the torque converter, unlock it right there. And then it'll go to the transmission. Your lock-up torque converter will be on the driver's side. There'll be a blue unit here with the wiring coming through the connector. That wire goes to the inside of the transmission. Red wire. So the red wire jumps over to your solenoid here, and that is also activated through a ground through a pressure switch. So when it's in third gear and operating at proper speeds, then your torque converter solenoid will be activated to work. And then you got your vacuum switch right here, your solenoid inside your transmission, and your governor. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 points, 5 points of items to look at, that your wiring is all correct. And I would 99% say now that it is your solenoid valve, which is this part right here that can be 2 bolts and a plug, and you can slide it off the tubes, and you can replace that while you're changing your filter, your transmission pan gasket. Lock-up torque converter working again, so you get some gas mileage and some efficiency. Alright guys, over and out.